The Last Bride. The heat of the border town was merciless that afternoon. Dust swirled in lazy spirals as boots stamped across the wooden boards of the auction stage. Men gathered shoulder to shoulder, their hats pulled low, sweat gleaming on sun-baked brows. The air smelled of tobacco smoke, spilled whiskey, and something harsher: desperation. The auctioneer's voice rang out, raspy and booming. "Step right up, gents. One last bride to close the day. Don't miss your chance. She's the final woman left standing." Laughter rippled through the crowd, sharp and cruel. She stood at the center of the platform, her wrists folded neatly before her, though no rope bound her. The truth was harsher. She didn't need rope. The eyes of dozens of men held her tighter than chains ever could. Her name was Eliza Mayfield, though few bothered to ask it. To the town she was just the leftover bride, the last of the caravan of women brought west by promises of work, safety, or marriage. The others had been claimed in a flurry of bids, some with eager smiles, others with grim stares. Eliza had been passed over again and again. Too thin, too pale, too quiet, they said. A woman with shadows in her eyes. Now she remained, alone, the last unwanted soul in a town that traded in both cattle and hearts. The auctioneer jabbed a finger at her. "Don't let her fool you, boys. She's sturdy. She'll cook, she'll mend, she'll bear you young'uns. Who'll start me off? $10? 10? Silence. From the back, a man muttered, "Not worth 5. Another spat tobacco juice into the dust. Eliza's cheeks burned, but she kept her chin lifted. She wouldn't cry. Not here. Not before them. If no one bid, she knew what awaited. A darker fate behind saloon doors where names didn't matter and hope was wrung out like dirty laundry. The auctioneer tried again. $7. A fine bargain. Who'll take the last bride in Border Town?" Still nothing. Men shuffled, bored now. Someone chuckled. Someone else called out, "Send her back east!" And the crowd roared with mean laughter. Eliza's stomach clenched. She bit the inside of her cheek until she tasted blood. If this was how it ended, she would endure it, but she swore she wouldn't break for their amusement. Then it happened. A voice, deep and rough as gravel, cut through the jeers. "I'll take her." The crowd went still. Heads turned. The auctioneer blinked, then grinned in surprise. "Well now, a bid at last, and from, Lord above, from him!" From the back of the crowd, a tall figure stepped forward. His boots thudded against the boards, heavy and deliberate. A broken man, a new beginning. The trail out of Border Town stretched wide and empty, a ribbon of dust under the sinking sun. Eliza walked beside the stranger. No, not stranger now. Not entirely. His name was Cole, but a name was only a beginning. Neither spoke for miles. The silence was thick, but not cruel. Cole's stride was steady, his eyes fixed ahead. Eliza, clutching the thin bundle of belongings she'd carried west, studied him from the corner of her gaze. His scar caught the light. His left hand, always gloved, shifted stiffly at his side. She wondered what wounds lay beneath leather and silence. By the time they reached his ranch, dusk had fallen. The place looked as weathered as the man himself. Fences sagging, barn roof patched with tin, fields left fallow. Once it must have been proud land, but now it carried the same air of abandonment she'd seen in his eyes. Cole dismounted his horse, tied it to the rail, and turned to her. "You'll be safe here." It was all he said before leading her inside. Life on the ranch. The house smelled of dust, wood smoke, and faint tobacco. It was clean enough, though, spare. A single chair sat by the hearth, a table scarred by years of use. shelves lined with tools and books gone yellow at the edges. In one corner, a bed made neatly, though the other side had long since gone cold. Cole set down his hat, then paused, as though remembering he wasn't alone anymore. He gestured stiffly toward the kitchen. "There's stew, left from last night." Eliza, who hadn't eaten since dawn, nodded. She served herself a small portion, hands trembling as she carried the bowl to the table. She expected him to sit across from her, to watch, but instead he moved outside, the door creaking shut behind him. She ate alone, the stew heavy with beans and silence. Whispers in town. Days turned into a rhythm. Cole rose before dawn, working the fences, hauling water, tending the cattle that remained. Eliza cooked, cleaned, mended. Their conversations were few but steady when they came. "Your ride?" he asked once. "A little," she answered. He nodded. The next morning, she found a mare saddled and waiting. Though words were scarce, respect grew quietly in the spaces between them. But the town had not forgotten. On the rare trips Cole made for supplies, whispers followed him. Men spat into the dust, muttering, "That broken cowboy bought himself a bride." Some laughed, others sneered.